Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days, and we are looking at the week of Monday, May 26th to Sunday, June 1st. We still have the sun in Gemini, and we're going to have a new moon here too this week. Anyway, I will talk about the astrology, and then we are going to look at the 7 cards, and I'm using Tarot of the Divine this week. And then we'll finish with an oracle card from the Tree Keeper's Oracle. As always, please take what fits for you and leave the rest behind. Feel that resonance, and if there isn't the resonance through your own intuition, let it go. So this week we start with the moon in Taurus, and by Monday afternoon it's going to be in Gemini. I think I can't remember, noon, 12 or 2, something like that. And then later we get that new moon in Gemini around 10 p.m. and that would be Central Time in the US. So of course we're on daylight savings too. When we have the moon in Gemini, that's of course the twins, ruled by Mercury, loves information, a bright mind, represents the mind, very curious, inquisitive, likes short trips, asking questions, things like that. And so this new moon will help us in terms of maybe getting the right information, asking the questions that are most helpful to us, maybe planning a short trip, things like that. So just remember too that there is the twin, so there could be like, well, I want to do this, but I also want to do that, and how do you work that out? And after that, of course, we get the moon in Cancer, and the moon rules Cancer, and that's about home and family and nurturing and feeling protected, things like that. And then it will move to Leo by next weekend. So that's, drama and fire, and Cancer's water, of course, and the feminine element, whereas Leo is a masculine element, being fire, and loves theatrics and kind of being in charge, things like that. All right, very creative. So on Monday, the 26th, we also have, besides that new moon, Mercury sextiling Neptune. So that really intensifies our imaginations. Mercury, as I said, rules Gemini, and the winged messenger, so we've got a lot of mental energy there. And then Neptune, rules Pisces, and it's all about the collective unconscious, about being dreamy and connected and open. So that's where the intensified imagination comes in. It's very good for creative endeavors. Again, maybe taking a little trip or going to a museum, something like that, but not really good for business, not good for making decisions that might affect us in a very practical kind of way. And that's because of the Neptune piece. Then on Tuesday, the 27th, Mercury is very active again, as it was last week. It's trining Pluto. So we could have a very important encounter with someone that day. Information, Mercury, Pluto, intensity, very deep. It rules Scorpio. It's in Aquarius right now, early degrees. It could give us a kind of X-ray vision, but it really will intensify that mental energy and give us a very strong focus. Then on Thursday, the 29th, we will have the Sun conjunct Mercury. See what I mean about Mercury? Busy this week. So that's just a great energy. The sextiling and the trining, I mean, you know, the trining is a very positive, open, happy energy. Sextiles, they don't have the tension. So these are easier aspects that Mercury is making. So when it gets to the sun, there's this huge expansion because the sun is our light, our brightness. It has a very good energy to it. And then Mercury will come in with all that strong mental energy. So again, trips, learning things, asking questions, having a good, bright focus on something. All right, so those are our aspects for the week, and I will now look at the cards. As I mentioned, it's Tarot of the Divine, and we begin our week with the Queen of Wands. So, though we have the Moon first in Earth on Monday, and then, I'm sorry, I also forgot to mention it's Memorial Day here in the United States, so happy Memorial Day to everyone as well. But we're dealing with first Earth and then air with the Moon that day, but here we have the fire. And she is a woman who's been on a journey. She knows herself. She's gone through her trials and tribulations. She's accumulated a great deal of experience, and she is outspoken. Again, it does not have to be a woman. It can represent a woman, but it can be just a feminine energy that has some masculine fire behind it. So really good instincts. Fire rules instincts. So, trust your instincts that day. On Tuesday, we do go to an earth energy, and this time the 10 of coins. Like I think in the thought, this is called wealth. So it does mean abundance of material objects or cash, whatever it might be. Here it's kind of interesting. There, it's sort of it really looks like a dog. I take it that it is a dog here in our picture. And all of these younger looking people around. It's kind of an interesting image. So it's sort of this old couple, but there's an abundance of people around them. And it represents real material accomplishment and wealth. So as I said, that's for our Tuesday. On Wednesday, we get the first of three majors for this week. So here we have, sorry, got a frog in my throat. We have the Emperor. And of course, he is regal, he is powerful. Most of the time, you will see the Emperor seated. It's sort of symbolic of having the seat of power. And yeah, this one is standing, and it reminds me, and it's very Asian looking. Makes me think of a mountain and that kind of great strength. Hard to move a mountain, right? There is a castle you might be able to see down on his side over here, on this side in the background, and all this beautiful kind of sunlight color behind him. I think that's supposed to represent the sun. So all of that power is concentrated in this very strong masculine figure. So, we could internalize that and draw, from our very strong inner masculine. We could see this displayed in the world in a non-personal sort of way. So just be aware of that energy on Wednesday. Thursday, we have the second major for the week, and that one is the Chariot. So we've gone from the number 4, the Emperor, that very strong, stable earth number, to a 7. And I associate 7s with water, for one. If it's that your house number reduces in numerology down to a 7, you might have water issues. Here, the Chariot, of course, is in literal water. It is being pulled by these, it's probably in the booklet, I don't know, these very large fish. And there is a look of determination on this person's face. We see another figure up on, yeah, I guess it's a mountain. Those are trees, the green part there, and then you see up at the peak someone sort of watching over. It's almost like a guardian angel. Higher self is what it makes me think about. So the higher self is looking at this journey, this energy to move things forward. And I do think the sevens are very internal. So it's like you pull up that energy and you start to surge forward on Wednesday. So maybe there's some kind of a project you're working on, or a new focus for something, but that would be a good day to get that energy gathered and start to make movement. When we get to Friday, we have another Wands. This time it is the Nine of Wands. This one, it looks like, what was it, Baba Yaga, the Russian witch from folklore, had a house that was kind of like a chicken or a rooster, maybe, I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly, but you got the tail on the house here and it's up on the stilts. And it can be a card of, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do with my energies. And that would be, of course, the Nine Skulls flaming here. It can also be, well, how do I use my energy? When do I put my energy out there? When do I hold back? And that wise use. Again, Wands, instinct, so trust the instinct on that. The 10 can signify a burnout, the 10 of Wands, or like just saying, all right, I need to let go, I need to take a different path. My energy systems need to be revived. So here it's kind of like, all right, take that look before you hit that burnout point. Then on Saturday, this is our really only big challenge card for the week, and people often cringe when this one comes up, the Three of Swords. It can be a broken heart. It can be trouble with family. It can be mental health issues, feeling really down or sorrowful, some kind of hurt, and very much in the mind because it is an air. Swords, you know, representing the air element. There's a masculinity to that. And we want to be mindful not to try to use that against ourselves. So if we're encountering that, trying to detach from it to some degree. And again, you know, in this deck, you've got several cards just in the spread today where you have the main figure very colorful and kind of in this blue shadowy coloring. You'll have this other figure, and it could be that again is like a higher self, another part of the self that can be more detached, while this one is feeling, she doesn't, we can't tell that she's exactly stabbed, but you've got two of the swords going at the side, the other one she's clearly holding. But you know, being mindful, don't use those against the self. Try to be detached about that. Remember that it will pass because it's a thought form, not a reality. It is also connected to the Empress because it is a number 3, and that's about bounty. So put the bounty into dispelling that energy rather than continuing to foster that energy. And then last but not least, our Sunday card for June 1st is Justice. So this is the number 11 in this deck. Sometimes you know, they'll switch the places with Justice and Strength, but here we do have Justice as number 11. You have the Sword of Justice. You have, I need to look at this a little bit more closely. I cannot tell exactly what this person is holding, but generally it's about scales, about things being balanced. You know, going back to the idea of the heart. Does your heart weigh more than a feather in the Egyptian mythology? When you die, that was one of the ideas, that the heart would be measured against a feather. So here again, you see there's like a pagoda behind this person, and it is supposed to be impartial, this justice. It's not you get justice, you don't get justice, but justice for all. And you know, that could be in a personal way. It could be in, you know, some small justice or injustice gets righted, something gets better, or on a larger, more collective level, we may want a sense of justice, we may see or sense a sense of justice on next Sunday or close to that time. So on the whole, again, we have the 3 majors and we have a 3, so that seems to be the dominant energy, which is very creative. It's the artist number. It's the number of the mother, father, child. And then we have some fire and some air. The thing that we don't have a lot of this week is earth and water. We have no water, basically. So stronger on the masculine side than on the feminine side, which kind of fits with that new moon in Gemini. All right, so we will finish with a Tree Keeper's Oracle card, and what came up for us today was number 33, Keeper of the Wild. And I know we've had this one not too terribly long ago. The wild isn't just a place out there, and before I forget, of course, double 3s, right? That numerology always comes through. So the wild isn't just a place out there, it's also a place in here. You are related to elk and deer, butterfly and hummingbird, bison, gazelle, and tiger. The mountains live in your bones, the rivers in your veins, wildflowers grow along the chambers of your heart. And those were all images that we saw on the cards today as well. You weren't born to just pay bills and die, distracting yourself with the secondary satisfactions of house and car and happy hour. The time has come to unplug from your current matrix. Your mind is a savanna teeming with running wildebeests. Your heart is an ocean full of mighty whales and splendid dolphins. Your soul is a forest full of stories. The moon whispers late at night. Indulge your own nature and rewild your life. And in a larger sense, as I'm finishing here, I do want to say that I think that's a lot of what we're going through, is that we are breaking the collective conditioning. We are in the new age. I know we're seeing a lot of darkness collectively, particularly in this country right now. On the other hand, it's like we have to break down these old patterns before we can make new, better ones that serve more people, not fewer. So thank you so much for being here. I really, really, really appreciate that. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. It's free, doesn't cost a thing. I so appreciate all of you, and I'm wishing you the best possible 7 days. If you're interested in a reading, please get hold of me. There's information at the end and below in the description box. Otherwise, I'll see you again in 7 days.